Hey everybody, and welcome to I Got This with Lex and MGP. I am Lex and I've been a personal trainer over the last 5 years. Martha has been my client for 3 years, and over that time she has lost over 50 pounds and changed her entire perspective on life. Join us each week as we dive into health, mindset, and everything in between. Hey everybody, and welcome to I Got This with Lex and MGP. I am a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer for 5 years, but I've been lucky enough to train Martha for 3 years. Martha is a client who's lost over 50 pounds and not only kept it off, but changed her entire perspective on life.
That is correct. So I have been fortunate enough to train with Lex here now for 3 years. And I started off training because I was in a place of self-hate. I wasn't liking what my body was looking like, how I felt. And, over those 3 years, we've really transitioned to a place of self-love, and that's why I continue to train and exercise as I do.
I love it. So today, let's talk about that place where you come from when you want to change your life. And so when I sit down with people to personal train, when we start, most people come from a place of, I don't like something about myself, or I don't like myself. And personal training is not inexpensive, right? It's a big leap and it's a big commitment to change something about yourself. So when I sit down with people, it's kind of finding that X factor of what they don't like or why they don't like that thing, and then turning that throughout that journey from a place of working out and exercising and eating healthy, not from a place of punishing themselves because they don't like themselves, but a place of love because they respect their bodies, their minds, and who they are as a person. And I do think that's a very difficult transition. I don't think it's easy, and I don't think it's really talked about.
I agree. Honestly, when I started training, it was more of I guess I'll try this. It's the next thing I'm going to try. I've tried the diets. We tried let's go low fat, let's go low cal, let's do, all the different things. And nothing ever seemed to work. You might lose 5 or 10 pounds. I never really lost more than 10 pounds ever without putting it back.
When did your fitness and health journey start? Overall, like before meeting me, when did you start?
So I was turning 50 and I just was like, I'm just so... I had resigned myself to, you know what, I'm just going to be one of those women that's fat. You get to that point.
Yeah.
That's just my lot in life.
Right.
It is what it is. But some friends were joining this new gym and they were like, you should join in. And I always enjoyed, maybe going to exercise classes or whatever. I was athletic, younger, but it was just kind of like, well, all right, we'll try the next thing and we'll just see what happens. But this was the first time it stuck. And this is the first time I've really ever weight trained as well. And so maybe that for me was,
the game changer.
The game changer, absolutely. I always knew I was kind of strong, but I didn't realize how strong I really was.
Right.
And so when I started weightlifting and I was actually pretty good at it,
yeah,
I was like, oh, and then my body responded positively as well. I always thought I had to get on the stair climber for a half an hour or get on the elliptical machine and, just pound out the miles, on a treadmill or whatever. That never worked for me.
Right. Right.
It never did.
And so, before you started weight training, there were years before that that you were exercising. Like, what things did you try? Like, what type of exercises?
It was the cardio. I did cardio. That's all I ever did. And
right.
I'm sure that was helpful for my heart and blood pressure, but no weight ever came off.
Right.
And it would be one of those things like, oh, I really ate too much this weekend. I better get an hour in on the elliptical, which to me is just punishment anyway.
Right. So your mindset truly was, I ate too much. I need to go work out because I ate too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
In and out. I mean, it just logically made sense to me. That's what you had to do.
Because I ate bad, so I'm going to burn these calories or whatever.
Yeah, or I'm going to punish myself because I literally hated cardio machines.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and that's what I thought I had to do.
And did you have any other sorts of, I like to say, like happy movement prior to, like you love strength training now, and maybe didn't like it when you first started too, but did you have any happy movement like Zumba or?
So that was a little fun, but that was actually around the same time that we started strength training.
Okay.
I mean, I've always been a golfer. I do like that. I know some people might be like, well, is golf a real sport? You're in a car drinking gin and tonics. But I mean, no.
If you're not drinking gin and tonics, it's probably a sport.
No, I play now and I walk and I carry my bag. It's a little different. But
take out the beer and we'll call it a win, yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, I like being outdoors. I liked, going for walks, I was a young mother during a lot of that time when I was unhealthy. And so being outside and playing with the kids was fun, but riding bikes, that kind of stuff. But it wasn't exercise with a purpose necessarily.
Oh, I like that. And what about like nutrition-wise? What had you tried prior to us beginning that was like tried and failed or just did not stick?
So you name it, I probably tried it. Like all the different fad diets, whether it was like the Zone diet or the South Beach diet.
Wait,
or
I've never heard of either of those.
Hello, 1990s.
What is the Zone?
They just pick different. I guess it would be kind of almost like a low carb now-ish. Okay. Similar to maybe like an Atkins or some of those, but same with South Beach. I mean, it was just those kind of recipes. And it'd be like 2 weeks where you would have no sugar, no dairy, it was very restrictive on the food groups.
Yeah.
And it would work. I might lose like 5 pounds, but then...
Well, yeah, you're cutting things out. You're
right. At the end of the day, it was...
going to see results, but...
But not really.
Because you're not changing your mindset around nutrition, around exercise. Like, you're not working on those things, so therefore, they're not...
Well, and it was always on a timeline. Like, you got to do this for 2 weeks, and then you do this for 2 weeks, and then you try this for a month. So there's always a finish line, but now I've come to realize there's really not a finish line with nutrition.
Exactly.
I'm not on a diet anymore. I'm just making better choices.
Right. Okay.
So, and you're going to have days, Thanksgiving or the holidays or a party or whatever, and that's fine. And I've come to terms with that, too. I can go on vacation. Yeah, I might put on 2 or 3 pounds on vacation, and guess what? I come back and it comes right back off.
Exactly.
So, and that's fine, and you've got to learn to, whereas I used to panic during the holidays almost.
You did?
Yeah. Like I knew 10 pounds were going to come on. It's just the lot in life. This will be this year's 10 pounds. Here they come.
Okay.
And they would stay.
And that's stressful in itself.
Right.
And then
didn't stop me from eating the cookies though.
You were like, I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
This is just how it is.
Yeah.
And then my next question is, like, how did that, so you did this because you didn't really like how you were, right? Who you were, or you just thought that's who you are going to be.
I thought I was blessed in a lot of ways. You know, I had a great husband, great kids, great family, great job. All those things were great. The one thing that wasn't great or I didn't feel good about was my personal self. And so, but I was like, well, I'm luckier than most. So I kind of had resigned myself. All right, well, you know what? You're luckier than most. You got everything else is going fine.
Which is an amazing perspective.
You know what? Your lot in life, other people have different challenges. That was mine.
Right. You're like, this is going to be my challenge forever.
And a lot of the people in my family are heavy, and I just figured, you know what? It's my destiny. It's my genetics. Just like you're destined to be short or tall, I'm destined to be fat.
Okay.
And I just kind of had accepted that, not happily, but was just like, well, it is what it is. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'm in my 40s, and
And do you think so the punishment in the of I'm doing this because, like, where did that, when you sat down with a personal trainer, because I wasn't your first coach at the gym that you were at, what was your why did you even sit down with her? Like, what?
Frankly, and this is kind of a funny story, she cornered me in the ladies' locker room and like, hey, you know what you need? You need a free assessment.
Isn't that how we do it always?
They're always lurking in the ladies' room. Just be careful. But,
you always are.
But, and I honestly, I had never foam rolled before, and things were creaky and tight and uncomfortable. And I think that first day, we spent almost the entire hour just foam rolling and talking. And I just felt good after foam rolling. It had been kind of like getting a massage.
It is, yeah.
And now it's just part of my routine. I don't even think about it. But so I was like, okay. And then,
for those of you that do not know, foam rolling is self-myofascial release. We can go more in detail about that. But as a personal trainer, I 100% recommend before any type of movement, you start with foam rolling.
Yeah, and it hurts a lot in the beginning too.
Yes, it's painful.
Now it doesn't hurt at all, but
boy, baby,
it feels good now.
Yes, but we can talk more about that later on.
Absolutely. So that was like the first thing, and then my husband was also overweight, and we had talked about it. She had also hoodwinked him into a freelance session. Not in the ladies' room, but Anyway,
I hope not.
So we decided we would do like 10 weeks. We'll give it
it.
just 10 weeks, once a week for 10 weeks.
And try it.
Yeah. Whatever. And it was really kind of, both of us were like, do you want to do this? I don't know. 10 weeks. We'll give it 10 weeks.
Right.
And so we did. So it was like 3 months or whatever. And I started to see some results. I started feeling better. And now, I had seen results before with early programs, because you always have that water release or whatever in the beginning. But I think in those 10 weeks, I had lost like 13 pounds.
Oh, that's good.
And that was huge.
That's a good amount.
And now I know like 7 was like in the first week. So it was probably water, whatever.
Right.
But I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little better. I was starting to understand some of the exercises, some of the movements. We started using some weight. I had never used, I'd used dumbbells before, but I never really used barbells.
Right.
I'd never done a deadlift or a back squat or any of those big movements. Maybe had done some bench, but probably with dumbbells. That was it.
Fast forward 3 years, you back squat, you bench, you deadlift, you do cleans with barbells, you can do you can do it all.
Yeah,
so,
right.
So that's 3 years, and that's crazy how quickly that's transitioned.
And I even laughed because I wasn't even that strong then. I knew I had it in me, but once we started actually putting the plates on the bars, my strength shot up really fast.
Oh, so you had strength. You did. You have the strength. You just didn't realize you had it either, and that's what it was necessary for you specifically to see results.
Right.
So that's kind of cool. So when did you start to see your mindset shift from that place of this is who I am and I will accept it to, oh, wait, this is cool. I can do this and I got this.
It was slow at first. And I still have days where I'm like, oh, maybe it's starting to fail. Because you always are worried about, can I lose weight and can you keep it off? Because so many people I've seen lose weight.
Oh, yeah. Anybody can lose weight.
Well, I don't know.
True. But it takes a lot more work to consistently keep body fat percentage down.
Agreed.
In a good space, in a mentally good space, not because you hate yourself.
Yeah, agreed.
Right.
And so that was, I was like, okay, well, I'm losing some weight, but okay, I'm moving for the first time, really. And so I thought that was part of it.
Right.
We started changing some nutrition things. Not big. She was really more, kind of watching what I was eating a little bit, making some suggestions here or there, but not huge. But I kind of started feeling like, well, if I'm putting this time and money into working out, then perhaps we shouldn't be eating pizza and beer this weekend.
If I'm actually investing. And that's the other thing about personal training or any type of training with a trainer. I recommend it if you have a hard time with it. Just spending the money is going to actually motivate you to do something if you place value on money. Some people don't.
Right.
Some people throw money at anything, right? But if you're spending the money on it, you're placing the value. Be like, wait, maybe I should put a little bit more effort in because I'm paying for it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was your factor too. Oh, maybe I'll take this a little bit more seriously because I'm spending a chunk of change on it.
Plus, I didn't want her to yell at me on Mondays when I showed up after a bad weekend.
Yes.
So she was seeing my food, but not that she ever would. She was actually really sweet. But we'd have those. Perhaps we should look at what we ate this week and see why we didn't lose any weight this week. We would have those moments at times. So that took a while, and it's hard too as a mom and a wife. It wasn't just me with the meals, so I had to get everybody else on board.
Oh, absolutely.
And my kids were in college at the time when this was starting, and they would come home from college and be like, "Where did all the good food go?"
Where are the chips, Mom?
Well, I'm pretty sure both of them have said, why don't we have Cheez-Its in the house anymore?
This is ridiculous. That's pretty funny. I'm not going to lie.
But so there's that too.
Yeah.
Not only are you trying to adjust your own diet, but getting the family on board.
For a family. You can do, by yourself, it's a lot. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's a lot easier unless if you're cooking for a family. It's a lot harder.
So there was that. So getting everybody on board. But the mindset took a while. Even in that first year, even when I first started training with you, I still wasn't there. I was still like, I don't like where I'm at. There was a long time I had dropped a ton of weight, not a ton. I had dropped probably 20 pounds, 25 pounds when I started training with you. So about half of that. But there was that long time, and I don't know if you remember, where it did not move for 6-8 months, and I was getting so angry. And I'm like, why are we even doing this?
Yeah.
And you kept saying, look at the measurements, look at the pictures, look at the...
Yeah, the pictures always tell all. Guess what?
You're putting on muscle, Martha. How many times did you say that? Putting on muscle,
and you look better. You look better.
Yeah.
So the shift in your mindset took a long time. Like you had to get used to not seeing quick change like you did in the first few months.
Yes, and that's hard. And that's when I can see people wanting to give up.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe I lost 20 pounds. Great. I'm better than I was.
Right. Okay, so now next question, less about the weight, less about the scale, the body fat percentage. Let's talk about actually liking who you are as a person and doing this because you like yourself. Like, when did that happen?
So probably in the last year, I think. I think it almost took 2 years to get to that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always confident in my ability to do other things, but maybe not this particular arena.
Okay.
And now I feel like I bring it.
When did that change?
It just kind of clicked all of a sudden. And it was slow where I'd have days of doubt still, and then days of confidence, and then days of doubt, and you've
Absolutely, yeah.
But then lately, I mean, really the last few months, it's just, the doubt is really gone.
Yeah.
And even if the scale doesn't move at this point, I still see body fat going down. I see pant size going down.
Yeah.
I see my wardrobe having to fully change. Yeah, that gets expensive too. So you don't want to slide back because you've reinvested all this money into new clothes.
Yes.
But
Yep.
you know, so that has really been.
And don't you look at yourself as I am strong. I have muscle. I am not, and I just quoting you, you know, like I'm not that fat person slob or whatever.
Right.
I'm strong. I'm confident. Like I'm independent. I'm sexy. I am like I feel different as a human being because I put this work in every single week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I know in some ways my real personality has come out.
Yes.
Where it used to be maybe a little bit hidden.
Right.
Because I didn't want to draw attention to myself.
Right.
There's nothing worse than feeling when you walk into a group of people, like especially if it's people you don't know.
Right.
Or a party or something, and you're like, ugh, I'm the fattest woman in here.
Right.
And that's, I mean, whether it was true or not, you felt that way.
Yeah, it's the comparison of looking at everybody else and sizing every other person up in the room and deciding that you are the least worthy to be in that room, or you are the least worthwhile person to be in that room, or I'm this type of person in this room.
And it shouldn't be about vanity, but honestly, there is some vanity there. Every woman's got some vanity.
But it's not
and
even
it's not
about
even that. And it's confidence,
it's
too.
It's confidence.
Yeah.
It's learning to love yourself and the version of who you are because you've put in the work, no matter how you look, because you're like, oh, I work really hard to be who I am. Great, I lost weight. Even if the person next to you lost way more weight than you, you're not even comparing.
Nope.
Because you love who you are.
Yeah. I don't feel that anymore. Like, I don't feel like, even if I walked into a room now and I was the most out of shape, which I don't think I would be, but I don't even think that would bother me anymore.
Not at all. Because you wouldn't size yourself up and decide and compare yourself to the next person.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm more like, bring it.
Yeah, bring it. Yeah.
No, but it's a totally different
exactly.
mindset.
Now you love the fact that you work hard. You love the fact that you've done all this for yourself.
Right.
For nobody else.
Yeah, it's 100% for me.
Exactly. And
I mean, I guess the fact that I can stay healthy or whatever, I'm sure that helps the people who love me, but still, or whatever. But at the end of the day, right. This is one thing that is about me.
Exactly. And some people do. I mean, a lot of people train because they know they want to be around a lot longer for their grandkids, and they realize, oh, well, my health is struggling and I just want to be around to see them grow up. And it doesn't have to be just about you. It could be for somebody else, and maybe that's even the bigger picture. But the fact that this is about you is powerful.
And I was lucky. I mean, even being so overweight or whatever, my health was still fine. But I could see that was not going to, how long was I going to be able to gamble with that?
Right.
Carrying that extra fat on me.
Exactly.
So.
And to it go in one direction. It go the way, you can go one of two ways. You can work for health or you can work for the opposite.
Right.
There's no steady standstill. There's no consistency. There is one way or the other way.
Right. I mean, age is going to happen. Your age is going to march on no matter what. But as far as being able to stay healthy, I mean, I'm healthier now in my early 50s than I was in my 40s.
Exactly.
So, and there's no doubt about that.
Yes.
Maybe even my 30s, because that's really when the weight came on.
Well, and that came with pregnancies and having children and raising children and working full time and all of those things. So it's really cool to see that transition. So let's give some tips on that mindset shift from exercising in terms of a place of hate or dislike for yourself or punishment, and slowly, and it's not a quick process, that's a very slow process, but slowly transforming it into a place of, I respect myself, I respect my body, and I'm doing this because I love myself.
Well, I mean, honestly, the first thing is you have to be consistent.
Right.
I had to make that commitment, whether I wanted to do it or not. I'm going to pay for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
That's how I started. Just 10 weeks.
Yes.
At the end of 10 weeks, it's not working or I hate it, then I'll reevaluate.
And you only did that one time a week, and that was enough. That's plenty.
I mean, I went to the gym and did some like classes, you know, like some Zumba classes, Tabata, whatever. But I only trained once a week, yes, for those 10 weeks.
Yes.
Those first 10 weeks.
And that's the thing. And it truly, you know, as a personal trainer, I am all about personal training, but that's not the only way. It could be an app. It could be a class at whatever gym, whatever feels happy and healthy to you. But just doing it, that consistency will turn into pride.
Right.
When you do it for 10 weeks and just mark it off on a calendar, that consistency will turn from, dang, I did this and I'm still doing this and I'm excited and proud to talk about it. And that's one small that shift that happens because you have become consistent. And even at the end of that 10 weeks, you're going to be like, well, why aren't I losing more? Why aren't I
those
looking
days.
different?
Yeah.
Why the heck am I even putting myself through this torture? But if you can look at the gratitude and the pride of like, I did this for 10 weeks. Now I'm going to see if I can do this for another 10 weeks and be proud of it, then that's a win.
And that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly how we did it. And you're right. Like the first, I think, week or two, I for some reason, 6 or 7 pounds is in my mind that came off. And I was like, whoa, if I can do this, I'll be like super thin in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
But of course, that doesn't happen. And
no.
I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 weeks in, the scale actually went up.
Right.
And it could have been, you know, cycle. It could have been.
Oh, it can be so. It could
anything.
Be,
just my body readjusting.
Yes, it
you
could
know.
be me telling you should drink half your weight in ounces of water.
Sure. So it could. There's a lot of things that could have happened.
Any of that, right?
So I had to get past that too, because I actually remember, and it wasn't you, but my first trainer, and kind of yelling at her and being like, "This is not working."
Right.
And she's like,
Well,
"Martha, it's been 3 weeks."
Still get that to this day from you.
You do.
So, Alexis, this is not working. Why am I doing this? Yes, it is, Martha. It's still working. It's still working. So it's slowly getting over that. That'll take years, just like you said.
Yeah, and I still have those moments of doubt.
Exactly.
Absolutely,
And
but
when,
not as.
And when you say I'm not quitting or I'm doing this not because I hate myself or don't like myself or accept something about myself that I don't want to accept, you do it from a place of, dang, I can do this.
It's a priority now.
Yeah. It's, dang, I got this.
Absolutely, I got this.
I love that. I love that. So our number one tip to starting to change that mindset is, well, number one, you have to accept it. You have to know, I'm not doing this because I like it. I actually hate exercising. I'm doing it because I'm so proud of this body. I respect this body that I'm in.
But surprise, you might end up liking exercise after all.
Yes, exactly.
That does happen.
Because you also have to find what you like that makes it fun. Whether that's having somebody tell you what to do. And then that consistency is going to lead to pride. It's going to lead to the fact that, dang, I'm so proud of myself. And let's say you skip a week. What do you do if you miss a little bit of that consistency?
So for me, I can tell. Like I start missing it. Like even when I go on vacation, I mean, obviously I'm having a good time on vacation, you know, whatever, at the beach. But when I get back, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get back and work out. You know,
Right, yeah.
I'm ready I'm ready to have Lex kick my butt again, whatever it is.
Yes.
And so that's, you know,
It's getting
you realize,
right back to it.
It's your
saying,
routine now.
Oh, I missed a week. I'm going to get right back to it. I'm just going to get right back to it. And I'm not even going to count that week as a week I didn't do it. I'm going to say, it was in my mind, okay, yes, X out the day, didn't get 2 days in, or a week in, or whatever, but I got right back to it, and that's consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency is when you fall off and then choose to not give up and to not stop for weeks on end.
And that's honestly the old me versus the new me as well.
Yes.
So, you know, if I fell off the wagon, if I was trying to, let's say, diet, which I don't even diet anymore, but if I was, if I had a bad meal,
Right.
then I'd be like, well, the day is screwed. Let's just go crazy.
Right. Yeah.
We already had pizza, might as well have ice cream.
Exactly.
And so that's not in my mindset anymore.
Right.
I know, and I can plan ahead if I know I'm going out for something special or, you know, events happen. You have to have life. You have to, I mean, food can be fun too sometimes or, you know, activities or whatever. But now it's okay. Just because I had one off path, as we'll call it, meal, doesn't mean I have to have an off path day or week or month, which is what I used to happen.
Right back on track, and that's consistency.
Yeah. Or I'll start again on Monday.
Yes, or that mindset of, I will do it then. I'll do it then. I'll do it then.
Now it's I do it the next meal.
Exactly.
So, and that's probably a big difference for me, mindset-wise.
Right.
So that's where we're going back to that consistency.
Yes.
Yeah. Consistent doesn't mean always. It just means consistent.
Exactly. It means most of the time. Yeah. And not stopping. Just not.
And people are like, well, I'll do it when I get motivated. Guess what, people? You're not always going to be motivated.
And we will talk about that on our next episode.
Exactly.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us.
And we look forward to talking to you next time. I got this with Lex and MGP.
Done.
Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed what you heard, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts and give us a 5-star rating. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at I Got This Pod. See you next week. And remember, I got this.